a mile, pretty soon you can jog 5 miles. Pretty soon you can run a marathon. It's the act of going out and resisting and saying, I don't agree with this. This is Big Brother. This is wrong. Also, in the last 30 minutes of the show, I'm going to break down another facet of the eugenicist and Bernard Shaw and others. We're going to have Aaron Dykes in studio with us. But I'm about to go to your calls. I first want to put the call out to listeners to financially support us. I can't do $20,000 contests, which have all been incredibly successful, even the smaller contest, at reaching millions of people, unless we get funds and support. And that's what I do. I'm expanding our studios, expanding our office, hiring more people, upgrading the websites, adding more for PrisonPlanet.tv members, just continually trying to expand what we do. And I don't think there's any place in the fight against the New World Order, any facet of what anybody does out there against the globalist, that pound for pound, dollar for dollar, political action for political action is more effective than what we do with this multimedia radio/TV shows, my films, the news websites, and how we teach people and show people how to be effective and politically active and shatter the left-right paradigm. So how do you support us? And how do you get great, powerful films that will wake up your friends, families, and your neighbors? There's nothing more valuable than waking people up. You get Fall of the Republic. You get Camp FEMA. You get Endgame, Terror Storm. All the best books, all the best videos, all the best documentaries that are out there that I've made or I've produced or that I've seen and I admire, we purchase them in bulk and sell them to you at a discounted price. And again, we are running out of some of the sizes of the Obama Joker shirts. When they're gone, they're gone. But we've added other T-shirts you can get for free if your size is sold out, or if you choose another shirt at Infowars.com. When you get Fall of the Republic or Endgame, you can get free copies of Aaron Russo, the 90-minute film I made that has a bunch of extras as well, breaking down the cashless society control grid, what Nick Rockefeller told him, how the elites will have their chip, where they go through security, everything, they're left alone, where the public's harassed. Such an important documentary. You can get it free in a bunch of the specials we've got at Infowars.com, or ask about some of the free deals when you call 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. You can also, until next Friday, then we're getting rid of the special, next Friday, PrisonPlanet.tv. We do it every December and January for part of January, part of December into January. 5.5 months free at PrisonPlanet.tv. Watch the live video simulcast of the radio show. Download the archives in higher quality in audio and video. All my films in high quality. Burn them to DivX. Give them to people. PrisonPlanet.tv. Okay, let's go ahead and go to your phone calls. Now, again, we have wide open phones, but I'm asking listeners to give me your take on the secret conference committee in the House and Senate not letting the public see it, Obama promising to do it, under pressure saying, okay, of all these days and days of meetings, you'll get to see 1 hour of staged, prepared statements, and none of the secret activity going on in the criminal government. What do you think about the body scanners, about homeschoolers being arrested? And I want to stand up for this family. They're talking about taking, and we're going to your calls, but I want to give these numbers out first. They are talking about taking this family's children. They are talking about in New York State and the Fonda Fultonville school superintendent, they sent police to their house because they didn't register their children with homeschooling, which was a civil matter. I've read the law, printed it off yesterday. But the CPS, and this shows their tyranny, there's no law against yelling at your kids, no law against spanking them. But they can then decide if yelling or if not putting them in public school or not registering them, if that's endangerment. So the CPS agent and the judge becomes judge, jury, and executioner and God. Inside the eugenics cults set up about 110 years ago, right around there in different states in the United States, 120 years ago in England, for racial hygiene. Everything that George Bernard Shaw talked about, the big head liberal here in the U.S., how they would set up these family courts and then take everybody's kids and the state would end the family. And anyone who didn't produce or when you got old, they would just kill you. He actually says all this. The video of him saying it is coming up in the last hour today. the diabolicalness of these people. And so they're persecuting them. They're trying to take their children. Right now, this family is in between a rock and a hard place. It is the Cressy family. We've seen emails from the police and superintendent and others to locals. Burmis actually went to school in this town. This is where Jason Burmis has lived and went to college. And it's just amazing. And the superintendent's like, well, we had one case where a 18-year-old couldn't read after homeschooling. That's always the PR, that homeschoolers don't get taught, when statistically they're the best that's out there. And I have the article out of France where yelling at your husband or wife you get arrested for. Not cussing, no, just yelling. That encourages wives and husbands to tattle on each other. They said, well, we've had 150-something deaths in 2008. The statistics are always a year old, of husband and wives killing each other. So if somebody out of 61,500,000 people, 61,500,000 people in France, if 150-something people, I read the statistics yesterday, kill each other, then everyone loses their rights and everyone's a slave. If there's one underwear firecracker bomber, everybody's got to be naked body scanned. If one person sews explosives in their body, everyone's got to be x-rayed. They're now calling for that. They always push it further. Oh, you don't want to be body scanned? How about x-rayed? Okay, we won't x-ray you, we'll just body scan you. But then 2 years later, now we're going to x-ray you. At some airports, they actually do a proctology exam. They actually put a glove on and go into you. I mean, they take your laptops all over the news for 5 years when you fly around, and they just take them and download their contents and send them to you months later. They order people to give them their email passcodes and sit there and read it in front of them. I have news reports here where reporters are seeing men stand around, pull out hot blondes, put them in the naked body scanner, and sit around laughing and smiling. I see it on the news, images of a woman being scanned, and the guys are looking at the screen going, I mean, this is sick. Who do you think takes these jobs? Let me give you the numbers, then I'm going to your calls. Montgomery County, New York Sheriff. Now, when you call them, be polite but focused and say, we know through color of law you declared endangerment and that you went color of law, this is racketeering, because it was a civil matter with them. They should have been sent the equivalent of a truancy letter, but you didn't do that. You arrested them for a stunt under child endangerment. This is outrageous, and the American people know what you did, and every commenter on the CBS News site disagrees with what you did. Know that, and the people of that town need to vote these government people out and put patriots in. Take your town back. Montgomery County, New York Sheriff Michael J. Amato, phone 518-853-5500. And if you see this in a week on prisonplanet.tv or YouTube or somewhere, still call. And just the action of you making the call, getting past the intimidation, talking to them, letting them know you don't appreciate them. 518-853-5500. Don't steal their children. Because normally what they do when they persecute somebody, they keep persecuting to make themselves feel like what they're doing is right. Call the Montgomery County, New York County Sheriff's Department, 518-853-5500, 518-853-5500. Everyone call. This family is cornered by these wolves right now. 518-853-5500. And we need this sheriff to be voted out immediately. I mean, the thing's unconstitutional. It's not freedom. It's like saying it's the law, blacks are slaves. I don't want to hear it's the law garbage. I know they manipulated the law on this. But the fact that they arrested them and took their kids and now they may not get them back, this is outrageous. 518-853-5500. James Conboy, District Attorney, 518-853-4516. That's the clerk, 518-853-4516. Call that district attorney and tell him shame on you and we know what you did manipulatively. Just like when I had the state attorney on from Maryland when they told the kids it was the law to take shots, 2,000 of them on the news with SWAT teams and dogs barking and getting the shots. And I had him on and I said, it wasn't a law they had to take shots. It was school policy, so they kicked them out of school and truancy was triggered. And he said, oh, you want to be a lawyer? Yeah, my kids don't take shots. Started laughing on air. It's funny that they manipulate people. 518